cheapest Benidorm bars are located right here. Welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna, and today we are in the famous Spanish area back again, and we'll be centering on the cheap bars. Those where locals love to go, where coffee costs just the tiniest bit more than €1. Great deals of breakfast, snacks, food, typical Spanish. We start with a brand new place. This one right here is a Greek style and a takeaway place. Not a typical Spanish one, but hey, some new businesses emerge here every now and then. This is also the road straight towards the tram station, which is right there in front, from which you can comfortably travel towards Denia or Alicante. Stylists here, washing and drying $6.99 for a man's cut. Wow, that's actually quite cheap, honestly. Nails paradise, and nails here can be done for less than €30. Some of the shops are closed down, especially those who were like old style shops, and nowadays everything's changing, so not all the services are actually needed. Nearby, some more typical cafeterias. This place is called El Cafecito, NP El Cafecito, which is like the coffee, but like with the coffee, like in this sense, like the teeny tiny coffee. They have an offer. Look at this club sandwich, different types of sandwiches here that you can get, or veggie one, $5.50. And bocadillos. Well, this is like a typical Spanish place. It's a great place for a coffee, for a nice snack. Quite big portion, because these bocadillos are actually quite of a big size. So a lot of people are coming here, those who work here nearby, and national tourists, locals. Plenty of people are going here for some nice breakfast, and $5.50 for a complete breakfast with a drink. This is quite a good price, honestly. In front, we have another place which is called Turia. This is like a tapas, breakfast place, snack place overall. Typical Spanish. Once again, they have a logo here nearby of Benidorm's island. Here you can grab typical coffee, drinks, snacks, breakfast for less than €5 as well. Breakfast, bocadillos, hamburgers, combined meals, rations, and desserts. Typical Spanish breakfast here would cost around €4, which is a toast, coffee, and freshly pressed orange juice. This area is for sure where tourists don't usually go, because these are like typical streets where mostly locals are visiting. There's no like fancy restaurants here about and around. There's no museums or places like for a visit for tourists to go. Hence, not a lot of people discover this area usually and typically. This is where there's small, teeny tiny squares where children play in the evening after they come back from school, where locals live, and where usual whole lifelong bars are located, such as the place that we have right in front of us. This is a typical Spanish bar, more typical probably impossible, located on the ground floor of a typical residential building right next to the square, with some water fountains where people just sit down and have a chat amongst themselves. Children play inside of the fountains with the heat, and these are the typical bars. Here's where you can also grab Spanish breakfast. There's some bocadillos, there's snacks, there's drinks, and freshly made bread. They always bring it from early morning hours. They're being delivered fresh bread. Here they have meats on charcoal grill. They have breakfast. They have menu for just €12, which is actually very nice. This is for rent. Oh, what a shame. Why? It's working really well. Why do they put it on rent? Ooh, fried fish fresh from the bay. And the menu $15.95, which is actually slightly expensive for where it is located. Unless it's like a very good menu, then that might be the case. However, menu for €16, located so far away from the beachfront. Maybe it's just a tiniest bit too much. Let us know what you think. All these typical streets, local streets full of businesses. There is the typical Spanish shops for shoes. There is the small businesses such as butcher, meat, charcuterie boards like ham and cheese. There is even like fish markets fresh from the bay. There's the typical shops that do sell electronics, something cheap, mobile phone top-ups. There's also places where you can find fresh newspapers, even international ones, the Mirror, Daily Mail, etc. In English, there are some Spanish newspapers. There are some German ones too, by the way. Quite nice place to grab something from the day. Typical Spanish place, bocadillos, combined meals. This is like a cafe bar, which is 100% Spanish. You won't see any single tourist probably here, maybe just one or two, but that is the essence of it, honestly. This is how it looks like, and this place right here offers bocadillos with drink and some potatoes. Plus they have, okay, it's what, €8. This is how much it costs, a big bocadillo with some potatoes like fries / chips and a drink, €8. This is not bad at all, honestly. And usually portions here tends to be really, really big. Some more meat places. Happy Cakes. What is this? Happy Cakes. So it's like a cake place. That's interesting. Some clothing shops, which are not uncommon in these places. However, this is not like a touristic type of area. Some people do walk past here, but they see it's mostly like local place. There's nothing specific out here, so people don't usually turn to these streets to discover them. There's some barber shops here that also cater for locals. There's some aesthetics and like in general aesthetic medicine places. There's plenty of things here that you're able to discover. And once we head back to the pedestrian street, obviously here we have Vodafone, you have real estate companies, you have more restaurants, bars, cafeterias, supermarkets, 24-hour supermarkets, sweet shops, and many more things. And fresh veggies and fruit seasonal ones from local producers like agriculture is also available for you right here. However, these teeny tiny streets is something that we do recommend you to visit, even though some of these businesses are for locals technically, but others are very cheap, and you are able to benefit from it because these are typical bread shops like bakeries, pastry shops. There's even a queue to get inside. Look at this. And these are the ones that us locals do love, but many people don't know about simply because they do not visit these types of places. Right in front of us is the Avenue of La Higuera. This is also the avenue where the typical parades are being held once in Benidorm town. Look at that, EasyJet bus bringing some tourists or picking some tourists up as well. Pick a Pizza, very nice place. I love these pizzas, really good ones. Honestly, they not only have pizzas, they have some more things here, but obviously it's like Italian cuisine. €3, €2, €3, €2.50, €4. Ooh, some spinach. There's also €4 here. We can see plenty of pizzas in the area. We've tried it actually. I think it was once or twice. Incredibly tasty pizzas. We are fans of this place. We don't go here to this area very often, honestly, and it's not the cheapest pizza. However, it's authentic Italian and it's very nice. This place has some incredible fresh pizzas here, so if you're a fan, come down here and try it out. Typical Spanish restaurant menu, €13 or €11, depends on how many things are included. Rations here, typical Russian salad, $5.50, patatas bravas, 6, pincho of Spanish tortilla, €3, magro, which is meat, also €4. This is a typical Spanish bar. As you can see, typically Spanish bars and tapas places, like typical authentic places, they do not look fancy at all. By the way, it's located right in front of the Crystal Park, which is a 3-star hotel, right here next to us, packed up with people because it's actually quite cheap considered in the area, which is why it gets really, really busy. So this place in general, Spanish bars are not as fancy. There's no fancy decor. There's nothing that screams luxury, but don't be fooled by these places. Actually are incredible. That's when you get the best tasting meals, tapas, bocadillos, breakfast. That's where you'll get a good service, and the price will be according to what a local would pay here in the area. Some places might be overpriced because they're located in a touristic space. However, others that are typical 100% Spanish are hidden in all these teeny tiny streets heading towards the old town. By the way, this street right here will lead us towards the beginning of the old town by Alejop, the cow shop, and we are heading towards that side. So for you to get the exact location, Avenida of La Higuera is right here on the left, and this area and to the left will be the tapas alley and the shopping alleys here in Benidorm. Some more interesting places, Valderrama. Okay, this is like croissants, cheesecakes, coffee. It's like a bakery. It's like a fancy style bakery here in the area. That's interesting actually, but it's very, very hidden. Who actually goes to these places? These are like very unknown streets, honestly. So it's difficult for people to actually get here unless you publish quite a lot on social media and you get people to know where you're actually at. Some probably national tourists hear about and around, staying in the old town. More bars. This is the typical Spanish once again. Quite reasonable prices too, by the way. It's not as busy today because it's still morning time. It's not midday just yet. This is called atardecer, which is the sunset. And right here in front, we are back to some of the most popular streets. The direct road from the tram station towards the old town and the tapas alley. Here we can see some manicure, pedicure places, cheap shops. Titi Acai, which has become really popular. Honestly, I see a lot of people there getting their breakfast, acai bowls. There's some typical shops here, cheap shops. People are even waiting in line. What is it all about? My goodness, that is insane. I think they have very cheap products for cleaning and for like body care. So they can attend only some bit of people, and then people have to wait outside for when people finish shopping, and then they can go in. Crazy. I've not seen this in a while. Cafe Troyano. This is also a typical Spanish cafeteria. 100% typical. Really nice breakfast here, really affordable. Snacks, breakfast, just a beer or a wine, even plates of food, something from the day that they prepare, actually are very, very reasonably priced. And plenty of more businesses are located in this area. Some brand new silver jewelry shops. This is like also a snack place to grab some pastry. Mostly they have cakes of different kinds. This is called Sorrento. I suppose it's like Italian style. It's a small cafeteria that they've opened up. There's only a few tables on the inside, but it's a very popular Spanish area. Thank you for accompanying us in today's video discovering cheap bars.